How's it going, YouTube? It is Docky or Docky Style Gaming, and on today's video we're going to be discussing all of the new information that we got from John Warner today on Twitter. Actually, I want to say this weekend because him and Mark Dara both have been answering a bunch of questions. Now this video is just going to be discussing all of John Warner's questions, and tomorrow's video is going to be discussing all of Mark Dara's, and he's actually been answering a bunch of really good questions, but I'll cover that tomorrow because I don't want this video to be crazy long. So definitely stay tuned to that for tomorrow's video to check out and see what all new information Mark Dara has covered. Now, without further ado, let's get into all the new information that John Warner has discussed today on Twitter. Now, the first bit of information that John Warner went on to discuss about, I believe actually came from a sub, but they were asking about the EA access. Now, as a clarification for everybody, I'm just going to summarize everything that is discussed and all about the EA access. So, the EA access for PC, you get the full game on February 15th, 2019 if you have the Premier access. Now, if you have the basic subscription for either PC or Xbox, you can play the game on the 15th as well, but only for 10 hours. You can play it within those 10-hour periods. It's not just that day, but once those 10 hours are up, your trial is up. That's what that is. And then for PS4, there's actually no early access at the moment, and I don't think it's going to be a thing. They did address it, and they said it's mainly because of Origin. It's a perk for Origin, so PlayStation at the moment doesn't have that. But something that is good to hear is that they said your progression will carry over, so even if you only play 10 hours and you still have to wait the full week for Anthem to come out, everything that you did up in those 10 hours will carry right over to the actual full release of the game. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, the next question that John Warner was asked was if the Storm would be getting a second damage mitigation ability, similar to how the Ranger has a barrel roll when you use his damage mitigation ability in the air, and all he had to say on that was the Storm's damage mitigation ability is only his short range teleport, and then he went on to post hashtag BAMF, and you all know what that means, Storm Asteroids. The next question that was asked to him came from, I believe, somebody who actually watched one of my videos because they were talking about the Acid Storm. They asked, is Acid an element that the Storm could use in a gear slot? And John Warner went on to say that more on this later, and then went on to put a thinking face emoji or chin scratching emoji, whichever one you want to consider it. The next question, I believe, was also a channel related question too. Even if it wasn't asked by someone on this channel, this was a question somebody asked me to ask, and it was about the companion app. And what John Warner had to say on the subject was more on this later, most likely meaning, yeah, we'll definitely get a companion app for Anthem at some point. They're just not ready to go into detail with it. Now, this next question was asking about the storage system and if there would be one or if we would have to delete gear that you don't want. And John Warner did say that yes, there will be a loot storage system in the game, which I'm pretty sure I covered on the channel before at some point, but there it is again for all of you who are wondering. The next question that was asked is if there would be any skins for weapon attachments, and John Warner did say that not at launch, which I'm personally fine with. I don't care if my weapon attachments don't have skins or not, but I guess to some people they do care to see their weapon attachments have some type of skin or customization, but clearly not at launch. That's not going to be something that'll happen. The next question that was asked was about demo progression and if it would be saved for the full game, and no, demo progression will not be saved for the full game, so all the progress and everything that we do in the demo is just for the demo. That won't actually carry over to our save files in Anthem when it's released. This next question I think also comes from my channel as well, because I don't think I saw anybody else cover this when it was discussed at Gamescom, but they asked him about how many Titans are there in game, and John Warner had to say TBD or to be disclosed, meaning there definitely are multiple Titans in the game and he's just not ready to talk about all of them. And as I mentioned in my previous video, the one that we saw in the gameplay demo is an Ash Titan, so they did say there are going to be other types of Titans, definitely different elemental ones. We've seen an electric one in a concept art, and I believe even the one in the trailer was a certain type of Titan as well. So we definitely know there are different Titans in the game. They're just not ready to discuss them at this moment. So next question, I'm glad it was asked and it clears some stuff up. So he did say that there will be certain weapons that can be shared across Javelins, but some Javelins will have specific gear and weapons that only they can use. So I'm glad to hear that. That definitely cleared up a lot of confusion, and I remember getting some questions about these in the comment section. So there you go, guys. Things that I'm very happy to see as well. I'm glad he answered this one, and I kind of covered this before also, but he did say that cosmetics will be completely separate from how powerful you are. So whereas in Destiny you have to wear certain gear to make sure you stay that light level, in Anthem you can wear whatever you want and that won't affect your actual power level or or gear power, I think is what it's being called in the game at the moment. So I'm glad that I can look as flashy as I want and still be as strong as I can be. Now the next question that was asked was about raids, and what he had to say on the subject of raids was, by raids do you mean an amazing Elder game content that requires a skillfully coordinated group to meet the challenge? And then he also went on to make a quick pun about the raid bug spray. But it is pretty cool that raids are definitely going to be one which we already knew, Elder game content, but also is going to be a skillfully coordinated type of mission. It's not going to be something super easy, and I'm assuming it's not going to be anything like a stronghold. Hopefully the gear that we get from it matches the difficulty. And now this next question that he got asked was, and now probably is becoming a bit infamous, but they were asked on any information on the demo, and all he had to say on this was, information on demo coming soon. And speaking of infamous questions, he was also asked, when are we going to get any new news on the Storm and Interceptor? And he had to say no date yet, but he did say Mark Darrow won't let him actually talk about it, which I thought was kind of funny. And hopefully that means that that's because Saturday we'll be getting some of that new Storm and Interceptor footage at PAX, and hopefully that's why they won't let him talk about it, because they're getting ready to finally show it off to us. Now this next question that was asked I thought was kind of funny, but they asked if any other Javelins would get a cape, and John Warner said nope, that's the Storm style. So sorry all of you Rangers, Interceptors, and Colossus, if you want a cape you gotta be the Storm, so join the Storm Master Race. The next question that was asked was, and I kind of answered this before in another video, but they asked if there would be different paint finishes like matte, gloss, carbon fiber, translucent, things of those natures. And yes, that is going to be a thing, and it's also going to be an unlimited use type of thing. It's not going to be a one-time use, looking at you Destiny one-time use shaders. So don't worry about using it accidentally on one piece of gear and then not ever being able to use it again, because it is unlimited, and that's fantastic and how it should be. Now this next question that was asked, I guess I could actually see this happening in the story potentially, but probably not in game. That'd be a little too overpowered. But when asked if the Storm would be able to harness the power of the Anthem, John Warner did go on to say that the Anthem is too powerful and too willful to essentially be harnessed, at least by the Storm I should say. So that doesn't seem to be like that's going to be one of his powers, along with electric, fire, acid, and ice. But that would be a pretty cool thing to see, but definitely kind of makes sense that that's not going to be something that we'll see. And then the last bit of information to come from John Warner's Twitter was asking if we'd be able to customize and color each part of your Javelin, and he did say yes you can, of course. And if you looked at my previous video when I discussed the language and possibly all of the different customization options, the viewer from the channel actually linked on Twitter to me a screenshot of the concept art of a Ranger, and then he also put side by side the Ranger image that we see at BioWare Studios, and I might actually be onto something when it comes to the Javelin customization, because it looks pretty close. So I might actually be onto something with that, and you might want to check out that video as well. So that's all of the information that John Warner discussed today. Now that's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.